Hello everyone, so let's learn about Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So under Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, we generally have two laws which states. So let's give the heading over here. So the name of the chapter is electromagnetic induction, right? First comes Faraday's law. Faraday's law of EMI or electromagnetic induction. Okay. Now Faraday gave us two laws. Under that, the first law states that when there is a change in magnetic flux linked with a coil, an EMF called induced EMF is induced in the coil, and hence just a minute and hence a current called induced current flows in the circuit if it is closed. Okay. The second law states the second law states here that the induced current is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic field. Rate of change of magnetic field, right? So according to this, induced current E, okay, and so if phi is the magnetic flux linked to the coil, then in time interval dt, E equal to d phi by dt. Now this is the mathematical form of the Faraday's law of electromagnetic inductions. Okay, so the first law states that when there is a change in magnetic field linked with a coil, an EMF is found to be induced in the coil, and this EMF is called an induced EMF, and also a current called induced current is found to be flowing in the circuit if the circuit is closed. So this was the first law. Second law states that the induced current is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux in the coil. Okay, rate of change of magnetic flux, it will be flux, I'm sorry. Okay, induced current is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Okay, if phi is the magnetic flux linked with the coil in time interval dt, then E equal to d phi by dt. Okay, now moving on, next comes the Lenge's law. Okay, Lenge's law is just a change to the, or just a modification to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, now what did Lenz said? Lenz. Yes, Lenz's law. Lenz's law states that the direction of induced current is such that it opposes its own cause of generation, right? This means that induced current, the direction of induced current is such that it opposites its own cause of generation. Now from Faraday's law, from Faraday's law we came to know that E equal to d phi by dt, right? Now from Lenge's law, it is saying that it will oppose its own cause of creation, right? So oppose means it is a restricting force, right? So from Lenge's law we can say, therefore from Lenge's law, E equal to minus d phi by dt. Why it is minus? It is minus because this negative because of the opposing action of force. Okay, so this was the Lenge's law, which was just a modification to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay. Right, so this was about the Lenge's law, and this is the mathematical expression for EMI. Mathematical form of EMI. I hope it's visible. Yes, it's visible. Right. Moving on, the next thing which we have here is Lenge's law as law of energy conservation. Okay, so let's see what's there here for us. Lenge's law as law of energy conservation. Okay, so let me erase this. So Lenge's law, Lenz stated that this is happening because if like this magnetic field is just moving towards the coil, okay, then there must be the violation of the electric field, the energy conservation law. So Lenz stated this thing is only happening, or the opposing nature is only happening just to conserve the energy, right? And we know energy cannot be created, it cannot be destroyed. So according to this, so Lenge's law of electromagnetic, Lenge's law as law of energy conservation, right? Okay, now Lenz stated with this example that when a magnetic pole is induced towards a coil, okay, this is a coil, okay, so magnetic field or the magnetic pole is induced toward this coil, okay. So now Lenz stated that when a magnetic field is induced towards the coil, now there is change in magnetic field. Now Lenz stated that the change in magnetic field is such that it opposes its own cause of creation. So since this is a north pole, to oppose this there need to be another like pole, right? So this phase has to be a north pole to oppose the further moving of this magnetic pole. So, and we know that this is the direction of current in the north pole, right? So for a like magnetic pole here to be created, so this is, if this is north pole, so the current must be flowing in this direction obviously, so that a like magnetic pole or a north pole is created in this side of the coil, and so that to further move this magnet towards the coil, work has to be done, and this work, according to Lenz, he stated that this work done accounts for the generation of electrical energy in the coil. So let's write down what we have learned here theoretically. Okay, Lenz stated that Okay, whenever a magnetic pole is attempted to induce towards a coil, the direction of induced current in the coil becomes such that a like magnetic pole is created in the same side of the coil, so that work has to be done to further move the magnetic pole towards the coil, right? So Lenz stated that when a magnetic pole is attempted to induce towards a coil, suppose this is a coil, my hand, this is a coil, and this is a magnetic pole. Suppose this is north pole, right? So this is the coil, here, this is the 3D view of the coil, and this is the north pole. So when this north pole is attempted to move towards this coil, now since there is change in magnetic flux here, so a current will be generated, so an EMF will be induced in the coil. So the direction of induced current is such that a like magnetic pole, that means if this is north, here will also be a north pole, so that the both repel each other, and work is done to further move this north pole towards this coil, and this work done accounts for the generation of electrical energy in the coil, right? So this was about the Lenz's law as a law of energy conservation. Moving on to the next portion, which is the application 1 of the Lenz's law. So for application 1, let's erase the board. Okay, so Lenz's law. Moving to application 1. Application 1 of Lenz's law. We draw this. Okay, so application 1 is the sliding a straight conductor in a perpendicularly applied or a crossed magnetic field. Okay, now this is the ring. Okay, and this is a perpendicularly applied magnetic field or a crossed magnetic field, which is inward, means from this side to this side, means inward to the board in this case. Okay, so this is the crossed magnetic field. Okay, now I suppose that this is a conductor. Okay, this is a conductor of length L, and it is at a position which is x equal to 0. Now after moving it with a velocity v equal to dx by dt, it comes over here, right, at x equal to x. Okay, now here it was t. Okay, let's make it at x equal to x and x equal to x plus dx. That means the change is dx by dt. We know velocity equal to dx by dt, or the change in velocity, change in distance by time. Okay, so this is the change in distance between this. When you differentiate this, so dx is coming, so this is dx by dt. Okay, now let us take time at time t equal to t, and here time equal to t plus dt. Okay, Now it is for sliding a conductor in crossed magnetic field. Okay, so let's name the conductor now. Let's name it as P, and here it is Q, right? Okay, now let us, you have to write here the theory which says that let at time interval dt, let after time interval dt the conductor covers distance of dx. Okay, now the area covered by the conductor in time interval dt. Okay, so I write here the area covered by conductor in time interval dt is, okay, so the area covered by the conductor in time interval dt is given by, I write it as dA. Okay, so what is the area covered by the conductor? Okay, so this is the length that we know, the area equal to length into breadth, right? So this is the length, and this one dx, this is the dx portion, right? This is the dx portion, this means that this is the dx portion, right? So this is the length and this is the breadth, so it is dA equal to L dx, right? So dA equal to L dx. Okay, and hence the magnetic flux cut by the conductor in time interval dt is given by, so let's write here the magnetic flux cut by conductor in dt is, and we know magnetic flux is represented by d phi, okay, equal to B. We know B means the applied magnetic field, this is the applied magnetic field, B vector or the cross magnetic field, equal to B dA cos 0 degree in this case, because see the angle is perpendicular, right? So it is cos 0 degree. So d phi equal to cos 0 degree. So let's put the values over here. So d phi equal to B into L dx, right? And cos 0 is 1, its cos 0 is 1, so I am not writing it. Okay, so it is coming B ds, I am sorry, d phi equal to BL dx. Okay, now we know when we differentiate it with respect to time, okay, so d phi by dt, we have to find the EMF, right? So we have to differentiate it with respect to time. So d phi by dt equal to B L dx by dt, right? Now if we put negative sign on both the cases, both the sides, okay, so by Lenge's law, let's write here, so minus d phi by dt equal to minus B L dx by dt, right? So Lenge stated that the induced magnetic field, induced direction of induced current is such that it opposes its own cause of creation, and we know from Lenge's law E equal to minus d phi by dt. From Lenge's law we know this, right? From Lenge's law, right, we know this E equal to minus d phi by dt. Now if you notice here, we got this term minus E equal to this term as d phi minus d phi by dt. So I can write here as E, which implies E equal to and if you see here we got dx by dt which is equal to v. So I am replacing dx by dt by v, so it comes minus b l v. So we got the expression, and this is called the motional EMF. Motional EMF. We know EMF means electromotive force. So what did we do here? Let's recapitulate first. Okay. So this is a cross magnetic field. This means the cross magnetic field. So I suppose if this is the arrowhead, so the and this is the plane. This is the plane of the paper, and the magnetic field is coming from this side of the paper to this side. So we represent it by a cross. So it is a cross magnetic field, and we slide the conductor PQ of length L with a velocity dx by dt. So what is the change in EMF in the coil? We have to find out. Okay. So we assume that before the start of the experiment, we assume that the conductor was in x distance at x equal to x and at time interval t equal to t. Okay. Now after moving it by a distance of dx in time interval dt, the conductor covers a total distance of x equal to x plus dx, means from x, if this is 0, so it will be 0 plus dx, and so it will be time equal to t plus dt, right? So, and this is the velocity dx by dt, which is the difference dx by dt, right? So now we find out the area covered by the conductor in time interval dt. So we know that area equal to length into breadth. So this is the length and this is the breadth. This is the length of the conductor and this is the breadth, which is the distance moved by the conductor, right? So it will be area equal to area, or the change in area rather, it will be equal to L dx. So change in area is dA equal to L dx, right? I have written here dA equal to L dx. Okay. Now to find out the change in magnetic flux linked with the coil, we know very well that d phi equal to b dA cos 0 degree in this case, b dA cos theta in most of the cases, and for this case it is b dA cos 0 degree, because see the angle between the applied magnetic field and the area is 0, right? So it will be d phi equal to b dA cos 0 degree. So if we do nothing here now, we just put this value of dA over here, so it becomes b d phi equal to b dL dx, right? So now we do differentiate it with respect to time, because we have to ultimately come out to this formula, which is d phi by dt. So we do d phi by dt, we differentiate it with respect to time, we get b equal to L dx by dt, and now see here this d phi by dt is equal to this E. Now when you put negative sign in both the sides, okay, so you get minus d phi by dt equal to minus dl dx by dt. So this the minus dl d phi by dt, you can replace it by this, which is obtained from the Lenz's law. Okay, so I replaced it by E, which is the EMF, and this dx by dt, which is the velocity, I replaced it by v, which is coming the product of applied magnetic field, the length of the conductor, and the velocity with which the conductor is slided or glided in the cross magnetic field, and this is the expression for motional EMF, right? So keeping this video up to this much, in the next video we will proceed forward with the application 2 of Lenz's law, where we will find out for rotating a straight conductor in a cross magnetic field, and then we will move to AC circuits. Okay, so till then keep studying. All the very best.